How do, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's your Yorkshire Bladesman here, and today I'm going to do another video for you. I know it's been a very long time. I've been very busy with schoolwork and stuff like that. A-levels are an absolute pig. So I'm going to do a review for you of the Mora Pro stainless steel. Before I get into the aspects and the specs of this knife, I'm going to do a size comparison. So, here's the Mora. I have a Victorinox Trekker. But we have a CRKT Lake 111 here. Right, take that out. We also have a Northwest bore Bowie, if that will zoom out. There we are. It's not even gonna. There we go. And finally, I have the classic Victorinox SD. So this is quite a reasonably sized knife, well, quite small for a fixed blade, and it's just roughly smaller than the Lake 111, and about the same size compared to the Trekker. So let's put these away. So Mora, as you may already know, are a Swedish knife company, and they make excellent quality budget knives, and also making some high quality knives such as the Galsberg, which is a really good knife, and they made a budget version of that called the Carnsball. Very similar knives in shape, design aspect. The only difference is the Carlsberg has some better quality materials and its full tang compared to the Carnsball, which is not. That is again the same 3/4 tang or the half tang with lower quality steel. So, the Mora Pro stainless steel. Let us go through it. We have a plastic handle, but it's rubberized as well. So compared to the 546, which I have, where it was all blue plastic, this has a rubberized texture to it, which allows a better grip in the hand, and it fills the handle more because it's thicker. So when I have the knife in my hand here, I feel reassured that it's not going to go anywhere. It fits my hand perfectly. It's comfortable in the forward grip, a backwards grip, and it's just a very good handle for the price you pay for that knife. Even though it's not the nicest looking, say compared to a stag handle, but it does the job well for a bushcrafting knife, because you want a very secure grip, knowing that the knife isn't going to come out of your hand when you're doing heavy tasks. But you wouldn't do heavy tasks with this knife, but as a suggestion. So yeah, moving along, we have a clip point blade in stainless steel. As you can see on the knife, it says Mora Neve Stainless. Will it show? No, it's not going to show. Oh, there we are. There, stainless steel, made in Sweden, Mora Neve. That is engraved onto the handle, the blade, sorry, and it's a polished finish compared to a satin finish, where you can't see, where you can't have like a reflection through it. You can with the Pro. A problem with that is it will scratch quite easily with a polished finish compared to a satin finish. You can recognise the scratch more. We also have a very sharp tip here, very sharp, and it's not as thin as normal tips. It's quite a thick tip if we compare it to the Lake. They're roughly quite the same. The Pro has a smaller blade thickness than the Lake, but the tip is roughly the same. So, let us get into the specs of this knife. So, I think I need a... no, wrong. So, the blade length of this knife is 9 centimeters, which in inches accumulates to, if I get this right, about 3.5 inches. The handle length in inches is 4.5, with a, well, in centimeters, that is 11.5. So this is quite a small knife, well, fixed blade that is, with a 3.5 inch blade and a 4.5 inch handle. It's basically got the blade length of a regular folding knife. So what this means is, this means that you can actually do a lot of detail fine work. So you have more control of the blade. You've got a smaller concentrated area you can focus on. Say compared, if we use the Northwest Bowie, you've got a bigger blade, so therefore you can't, if you wanted to use finer detail, you would go for the Mora, because you've got that smaller blade length, therefore you can do the task at ease, compared to using a big clumsy blade where you are trying to be as careful as you possibly can, because you have a larger blade profile to manage. The edge on this knife is a Scandi grind, which is more a signature grind, because this is what the main, well, it's a bushcrafting grind that people use. Scandi is an excellent edge to use compared to a chisel ground or a what is it called? I forgot now. Well, compared to a flat grind, that's it. With the Moras, you can depict what they are by the colour of the handle. Mora uses blue as a stainless steel, and they use red as carbon. So you can get this knife in a carbon, you can get it in a stainless, and you can also get it in a robust, which has black here, like a grey, so black rice and the grey. And what the robust is, it's just basically a more beefed out version of this knife with a thicker blade thickness. I believe the blade is longer. I'm not sure, I don't actually have the knife myself. I'm looking to buy one, but we will have to wait and see. So let's do a paper test on the Mora Pro. As you can see, this knife just slices through paper like butter. It is so sharp. Moras are really good for the price you pay, and they come out with a wickedly sharp edge. And also, to tell if a knife is sharp as well, you can curve like this with it without, any problem. So this knife is absolutely razor sharp, lethally sharp, which this knife cost me about £12, £15 on Heine Haynes. I don't know what it is now. To have that wicked edge, it's unbelievable. I've bought knives more expensive than that, and they haven't even come without a shot whatsoever. So next we move on to the sheath. Now this is Mora's new idea for sheath. This is plastic. It has a belt loop here, which this little clip here is useful, because what happens is when you slide it in, this catches the underside of the belt and locks it in place. If we compare it to a standard loop, this is, I think, it's not as secure as this, because it can't accidentally come off. But the idea of it is so it's quick, easy access. You can easily slot it in and easily take it out. The idea of this tag here, this bit of plastic coming out is to, not to make it look cool, but actually it looks quite nice on the sheath, but to attach another Mora knife to it. If you look here on the top, if you take another Mora knife, another Mora sheath, and you slot it on this and you twist, you turn it like that, you slot it, twist, you have two Mora knives attached to one belt. Therefore you can carry, say, one knife for your bushcraft, say this one, and another knife for food prep. So you've carrying two knives on one section of the belt, so you don't take up a lot of room, which is a good idea. The knife is secure in the sheath if I just gently shake it, but if I squeeze and shake, the knife will come out. The likeliness of that actually happening when you're out in the woods or something using it, the likeliness of it coming out of its sheath by accident is very unlikely, because as you saw I had to squeeze really hard and shake with a lot of force, like that, if I don't accidentally stun myself as well when it drops on the floor. So yeah, it fits in the sheath quite nicely. I'm not a fan of the plastic sheath, even though I do like it, but compared to a leather sheath, you can't really compare it to, leather, I think, is always the best. So, the good and the bad of this knife. The good thing is, what I like about this knife is a knife you can use for great bushcrafting tasks if you're not wanting to waste a lot of money, so you can beat the shit out of it, and then when it's dull, you can't be bothered to sharpen it, you throw it away and buy a new one. Or if you lose it, it doesn't really matter, because it's inexpensive, you can easily pick yourself up a new one. Say, compared to, I'd rather lose that than this, because I only know one place we can buy these, and that's all the way in Portugal. I'll have to wait another year to get one. So the fact that it's just a cheap knife, it's great, the budget knife for what it is. You get a lot of steel and usage for the price you pay, and if you lose it at the end of the day, no big deal, you can easily pick yourself up a new one. I do like the fact that it is a clip point. I like clip brains, and the Scandi grind is excellent for bushcrafting, so if you want to use it for feather sticking, it is perfect for that task. And you wouldn't use it for batoning, because it's not even big enough for it. So this knife is specific for a few certain tasks. So if you're going to go out in the woods with it, you would take this and maybe an axe or a bigger knife, maybe even this, so you have an extra bigger blade so you can baton with, for example. The sheath is nice, it works very well for what it is, so yeah, I can't complain about that, even though it does feel quite cheap, and that it is thick enough, but you don't know how long it can last for plastic. It can easily break and bend and stuff like that. The negatives of this knife, the fact that it's not full tang, that's not a big issue to me, because I know the Northwest Bowie isn't, but it's nice to have that reassurance of a full tang knife. Unfortunately, the fit and finish is not perfect. If you haven't, you still got this burr and abrasion on the knife. If you can see that, I'm not sure. It's just a lack of fit and finish. They could have polished it easily, but they decided not to. But even though it is a budget blade, what do you expect? The blade centering is quite poor. It goes straight, then it tapers off to the right. I don't know if you can pick it up on the camera, but it's not actually, your blade is not fitted straightly. I don't know if you can actually pick this up on the camera, but from where I'm looking at, the blade goes straight, then it tapers off to the right. I don't know if you can see it from that angle. Yeah, it's like, and the other negative is it's a Scandi grind. You've got to sharpen a Scandi grind to its actual thing. You've got to be good at. Sorry, my iPod went off then. You've got to be you have to know to put a Scandi grind on to maintain its sharpness. If you don't know and you just sharpen it normally, you're going to remove that Scandi grind and put on a flat grind, which you are just damaging the knife in a way, because you're removing the edge it's meant to have and replacing it to something new. So people who don't know how to do that, they're going to sort of suffer and sort of ruin the knife. That's why I said if it comes to, you can easily, you know, throw it away and get a new one if you don't know how to sharpen it, if you don't want to sort of ruin the knife. But if you do know how to put on a Scandi ground, which I actually don't, but if you actually do, that's good, because you actually can maintain the knife properly and keep it to how it's meant to be. So yeah, this has been my review of the Mora Pro in stainless steel. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. You can be, excuse me, be more extreme than that. Subscribe to my channel because it really helped me grow. At 100 subs, I'm going to do a giveaway. I'm going to be modifying an Open L and giving that away. So if you want to be in chance of winning that and actually seeing what I'm going to do to modify it, then all you need to do is subscribe to my channel, and you could be the lucky winner when we get to 100 subs. When we get to 100, I'm going to release a video saying what you have to do in order to receive a knife, and be in chance of actually getting the knife. So, as I said, like, subscribe, and I shall see you next time.